here in the next week or so, and I just wanted to give you a quick, I wrote it in the email, but I just want to go a quick review of what you should expect or is expected when you take this. Please take the flash case review and flash case review about a week before you do the WES case. This is just a case review I did from the May 28th flood event in Southern Horry County. And I kind of give you examples, and I kind of in the review I focus on all the products, looking at the differences between the SAC flooding type model versus the hydrophobic versus the CREST model. And of course, CREST is the one you'll find out that basically what most everybody uses, and be able to look at the unit stream flow versus just the stream flow, and just get some of those ideas. And then in the WES case, I have a case from last year in September 21st that we can run through, just so you can sort of understand the information. And I just put 4 questions there at the bottom of the review, but I need you to go into the CLC and just try to take that, and it just kind of gives me a feel and you a feel of if you understood what was going on in that review. There's no pass fail on it, so you can just see where you stand on it. So the key points in this WES case in the review is to distinguish the impacts of each flash model and how it handles impervious surfaces. Also, review the preliminary tables for values in the CREST unit stream flow to determine the confidence in issuing the flash flood warnings or flash flood statements. These tables will be available with other nomograms and quick guides for severe weather. Vicki shared a presentation for the Appalachian workshop. Mike Dutter and one of the other forecasters at Wakefield did a excellent study where they actually came up with a little more precise idea of when to issue special weather statements or flood statements, etc. And part of their database was actually some events in our southeast North Carolina counties, but you pretty much use all the Carolinas and Virginias for their research. And these values are a little thing, but it definitely, you can see, help give you confidence on where the important locations are for maybe a flooding event going. Also at the finals, be able to determine the changes in the soil moisture. One of the things from the training you've seen is once the soil moisture is greater than 50%, you have to start watching for possibility of flow on top of the ground and maybe possible flash flooding, and I will be able to look at that. And there's also an annual return interval, and they have found if you get over about 10-year return intervals, you really need to really start watching that really closely and maybe issue products. Also, all flash products, you have to realize, are not available on AWIPS. They had to remove some because they were just taking up too much bandwidth on the SBN. And so those that aren't available, you may want to use, are on the NSSMRSM site for additional products. And then the final, you have to realize that if you're using AWIPS, it's imperial units, cubic feet per second versus meters by kilometer per second for the MRMS site. And there's just a little bit of difference in the units to be able to realize that's going on. So then you steps to the flash flood. I want you to review the WES case, answer the questions. It should only take 15 or 20 minutes. And then we'll do a WES case with myself, and we'll take 20 to 30 minutes to look at the information. We're not going to do it in simulated time, but we're going to step through and look at all the products so you feel comfortable to be able to use it when the event occurs. I've had a lot of people, most people have signed up, thank you. But again, please let me know. I don't look at that all the time. Just remember, I'm not Kreskin, and if you know who Kreskin is, I'm impressed, because it's a 70s reference, and a lot of you young people won't get that. Real quick on the QPF demonstration, nothing, when I originally was doing topics, talking to Mark, I wanted to talk about this, but nothing has really been updated from the national level since I last sent the email out from Frank Alzheimer. He is the Eastern Region liaison for the project. You can see this side here that I have linked in the Google's web address there goes to this page that's explained. So you have any questions for that. Updated demonstration FAQs, which haven't been updated since 11th of March, I believe, are at the top link, and at the bottom link is the NBM and collaborating changes through the ISC. That's on that link. And I know Matt is on, and Carl, they discussed when the QPF gets updated and things like that still have to go. I believe Matt's putting something on the cron in just a second. If Matt can comment on that, I'd appreciate that. They're looking, what Frank said is looking sometime the middle or end of May to possibly start the next process. And when we get more information on that, we'll let you know. So Matt, if you're around, do you have a comment? I know about the QPF grids updating and what you have on the cron.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had time to do that procedure yet, but I mean, put it in place, but it's really, it's not that big of a deal. It's just having it go off at certain times. But like we kind of talked about in an email chain, it's not really necessary until we go over to phase 2. So we'll figure it out at some point when I have more time to put it in place. But is that what you were referring to in May with Frank? Are you talking about going to phase 2 or something else?
Yeah, no, phase 2.
Okay,
phase
yeah, and I
2.
think
And
a lot of that, I
yeah.
think a lot of it has to do with COVID, and they have to, there's some rule or something where they can't go over to phase 2 of this CFP until all the offices are there or something like that. But in terms of the procedure, yeah, it's not, I haven't put it in place yet.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to phase 2 next month. So that would be the first, one of the first caveat to let us go there. And I guess if there's any other issues. So anything else, Matt, on it?
No, I think that's it for now. Thanks.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to doing the WES. It's not going to be that difficult. It's just getting used. And I think using the CREST model with in the MMRS is exciting and will help us delineate and help us determine when to issue products. We'll have to really pay attention to the scales to see if we over forecast or under forecast. But as it was said in the training, and as also Mike Dutter, the QPE that's used in the flash products are only as good as the radar data. So you have to remember that the blockage will cause problems, especially for areas that are very, very far away from other radars, like the Myrtle Beach area. That is so distant from all the other radars that MMRS probably does not help out with that because of the blockages.